Hey everyone. Welcome to Top Tech News. This is your news channel for getting updated with the latest tech news headlines and their impact on business and our lives. To read the full news article for any of the news that we cover, simply click on its link given below in the description. To stay updated, show us some love and hit the subscribe button below and turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. This way you would be informed whenever we upload a new video. Hi, my name is Dee and I am your host for today. Today's top headlines are: New AI can infer whole floor plans from short video clips. Microsoft and Google AI models surpass human performance on SuperGlue language benchmark. OpenAI debuts DALL-E for generating images from text. Cox acquires AI 3D scanner maker Fyusion to aid used car dealerships. AMP Robotics raises $55 million for AI that picks and sorts recyclables. Let's get started. New AI can infer whole floor plans from short video clips. Floor plans are useful for visualizing spaces, planning routes, and communicating architectural designs. Creating floor plans typically requires a full walkthrough so 3D sensors and cameras can capture the entirety of a space. But researchers at Facebook, the University of Texas at Austin, and Carnegie Mellon University are exploring an AI technique that leverages visuals and audio to reconstruct a floor plan from a short video clip. The researchers assert that audio provides spatial and semantic signals complementing the mapping capabilities of images. They say this is because sound is inherently driven by the geometry of objects. Audio reflections bounce off surfaces and reveal the shape of a room, far beyond a camera's field of view. Sounds heard from afar, even multiple rooms away, can reveal the existence of free spaces where sounding objects might exist. Hearing sounds from different directions exposes layouts based on the activities or things those sounds represent. For example, a shower running might suggest the direction of the bathroom. The researchers' approach, which they call AV Map, aims to convert short videos with multi-channel audio into 2D floor plans. A machine learning model leverages sequences of audio and visual data to reason about the structure and semantics of the floor plan, finally fusing information from audio and video using a decoder component. The floor plan's AV Map generates, which extends significantly beyond the area directly observable in the video, show free space and occupied regions divided into a discrete set of semantic room labels, for example family room and kitchen. The team experimented with two settings, active and passive, in digital environments from the popular ManaNet 3D and Sound Spaces datasets loaded into Facebook's AI habitat. In the first, they used a virtual camera to emit a known sound while it moved throughout the room of a model home. In the second, they relied only on naturally occurring sounds made by objects and people inside the home. Across videos recorded in 85 large, real-world, multi-room environments within AI habitat, the researchers say AV Map not only consistently outperformed traditional vision-based mapping but improved the state-of-the-art technique for extrapolating occupancy maps beyond visible regions. With just a few glimpses spanning 26% of an area, AV Map could estimate the whole area with 66% accuracy. And that's quite impressive. Microsoft and Google AI models surpass human performance on SuperGlue language benchmark. In late 2019, researchers affiliated with Facebook, New York University, the University of Washington, and DeepMind proposed SuperGlue, a new benchmark for AI designed to summarize research progress on a diverse set of language tasks. Building on the Glue benchmark, which had been introduced 1 year prior, SuperGlue includes a set of more difficult language understanding challenges, improved resources, and a publicly available leaderboard. When SuperGlue was introduced, there was a nearly 20-point gap between the best-performing model and human performance on the leaderboard. But as of early January, two models, one from Microsoft called DBERTA and a second from Google called T5 plus Mina, have surpassed the human baselines, becoming the first to do so. Sam Bowman, assistant professor at NYU's Center for Data Science, said the achievement reflected innovations in machine learning including self-supervised learning, where models learn from unlabeled datasets with recipes for adapting the insights to target tasks. But SuperGlue isn't a perfect, nor a complete, test of human language ability. In a blog post, the Microsoft team behind DBERTA themselves noted that their model is by no means reaching the human-level intelligence of natural language understanding. They say this will require research breakthroughs, along with new benchmarks to measure them and their effects. As the researchers wrote in the paper introducing SuperGlue, their benchmark is intended to be a simple, hard-to-gain measure of advances toward general-purpose language understanding technologies for English. It comprises 8 language understanding tasks drawn from existing data and accompanied by a performance metric as well as an analysis toolkit. SuperGlue also attempts to measure gender bias in models with Wiener gender schemas, pairs of sentences that differ only by the gender of one pronoun in the sentence. However, the researchers note that this measure has limitations in that it offers only positive predictive value. While a poor bias score is clear evidence that a model exhibits gender bias, a good score doesn't mean the model is unbiased. Moreover, it doesn't include all forms of gender or social bias, making it a coarse measure of prejudice. The Google team hasn't yet detailed the improvements that led to its model's record-setting performance on SuperGlue, but the Microsoft researchers behind DALLE detailed their work in a blog post published earlier this month. DALLE isn't new, it was open source last year, but the researchers say they trained a larger version with 1.5 billion parameters, that is, the internal variables that the model uses to make predictions. It'll be released in open source and integrated into the next version of Microsoft's Turing Natural Language Representation Model, which supports products like Bing, Office, Dynamics, and Azure Cognitive Services. For more details on this breakthrough working of the Microsoft and Google AI models and overall bias study in the AI models, simply click on the link given below in the description to read the full article. OpenAI debuts DALL-E for generating images from text. OpenAI recently debuted two multimodal AI systems that combine computer vision and NLP, DALL-E, a system that generates images from text, and CLIP, a network trained on 400 million pairs of images and text. DALL-E uses a 12 billion parameter version of GPT-3, and like GPT-3 is a transformer language model. The name is meant to evoke the artist Salvador Dalí and the robot WALL-E from the movie of the same name. This amazing photo was generated by DALL-E from the simple text prompt of an illustration of a baby daikon radish in a tutu walking a dog. Tests OpenAI shared appear to demonstrate that DALL-E has the ability to manipulate and rearrange objects in generated imagery and also create things that don't exist, like a cube with the texture of a porcupine or a cube of clouds. Based on text prompts, images generated by DALL-E can appear as if they were taken from the real world or can depict works of art. OpenAI also introduced CLIP, a multimodal model trained on 400 million pairs of images and text collected from the internet. CLIP uses zero-shot learning capabilities akin to GPT-2 and GPT-3 language models. We find that CLIP, similar to the GPT family, learns to perform a wide set of tasks during pre-training, including object character recognition, or OCR, geolocalization, action recognition, and many others. We measure this by benchmarking the zero-shot transfer performance of CLIP on over 30 existing datasets and find it can be competitive with prior task-specific supervised models. 12 OpenAI co-authors wrote in a paper about the model. Although testing found CLIP was proficient at a number of tasks, it fell short in specialization tasks, like satellite imagery classification or lymph node tumor detection. The release of DALL-E follows a number of generative models with the power to mimic or distort reality or predict how people paint landscapes and still lifes. But some, like StyleGone, have also demonstrated racial bias. How OpenAI made DALL-E and additional details will be shared in an upcoming paper. Large language models that use data scraped from the internet have been criticized by researchers who say the AI industry needs to undergo a culture change. Cox acquires AI 3D scanner maker Fyusion to aid used car dealerships. When car dealers sell new vehicles, customers can rely on manufacturer-provided 3D models that look exactly like the cars they're about to purchase. But that isn't the case for used cars, which commonly have dings and other issues that must be disclosed to prospective buyers. To aid in the vehicle imaging and disclosure process, media conglomerate Cox Enterprises has announced it is acquiring Fyusion, a maker of AI and 3D capture tools, to help auto dealers rapidly scan used cars for resale. Atlanta-based Cox is primarily known for its communications division, which offers internet services in 18 states, and its automotive arm, which owns over 24 car media brands, ranging from AutoTrader to Kelley Blue Book and Mannheim. Fyusion's scanning technology is already being used in Cox's Mannheim Express app for smartphones, enabling dealerships to create high-resolution exterior and interior car scans for listings. And it will become available to a wider range of dealers, commercial clients, and end users following the acquisition. Cox's purchase of Fyusion is significant for technical decision makers because it demonstrates the critical importance of computer vision solutions to enterprises, in this case, both large automotive dealers and the companies that cater to them, as used car purchasing increasingly relies on digital assessments ahead of or instead of in-person inspections. By delivering 3D images with AI superpowers, Fyusion and Cox expect to offer potential customers consistent and accurate reports of vehicle damage and its severity, impacting everything from dealer inventory merchandising to wholesale auctions, online retail marketplaces, and car rentals, as well as inspections and insurance for used cars. Fyusion's early work for Mannheim Express enabled the app to create 360-degree, movable exterior images of cars, an industry first, the company claims. This has since been augmented by 360-degree interior imaging and easily discoverable audio and visual tags that can highlight elements of a vehicle's condition. Sample videos include a rotating preview of a used Porsche 911 that clearly discloses a scratch on the headlight and similarly detailed views of the interior of a Lexus, captured with a tripod-mounted phone camera. AMP Robotics raises $55 million for AI that picks and sorts recyclables. AMP Robotics, a Denver, Colorado-based startup creating robotic systems that sort recyclable material, announced it has closed a $55 million Series B funding round led by XN. The startup says it will use the funds to scale its business operations and develop AI product applications that integrate into materials recovery facilities to increase recycling rates for its customers. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, the U.S. generated about 262 million tons of municipal waste in 2015 alone. While over 91 million tons were recycled and composted, automation promises to drive the total higher as the pandemic forces businesses to suspend recycling operations due to concerns for worker safety. That's why the waste sorting robotics market is set to reach $12.26 billion by 2024, increasing at a compound annual growth rate of 16.52%. AMP Robotics claims its platform delivers higher pick rates, 80 items per minute, much higher than manual processes, as well as holistic monitoring of material streams without retrofitting. It is modular in design, enabling facilities managers to adapt it to existing workflows, and it's tailored to individual brands and SKUs of recyclable objects. AMP Robotics products can sort not only metals but a very diverse mix of objects like batteries, capacitors, plastics, PCBs, wires, cartons, and others. AMP Cortex, the company's robotics control system, leverages a combination of AI algorithms and physical robots to orchestrate sorting, picking, and placing tasks. A 3-armed picker machine with an adaptable frame area and height sits over a conveyor belt, held in place by a movable steel frame. It's fed data from AMP Neuron, which uses computer vision to distinguish visual features and self-improves by processing millions of images in the cloud across AMP Robotics network. This allows it to more accurately sort objects and learn new classes of materials, adapt to packaging design and lighting changes, and recover high-demand materials like paper, tissue, and cardboard. All this data feeds into AMP Insights, an online visualization tool that monitors material stream activity and performance. Real-time notifications sent via text and email keep managers abreast of goings-on, including potential equipment issues and hazards. And AMP Insights tracks key commodities to determine things like material composition per bale, known value created or lost on residual lines, and per hauling load. AMP Robotics says that as of April 2020, its platform had processed over 1 billion recyclables across installations in over 20 states, which the company claims translates to a reduction in greenhouse gas emissions of approximately 500,000 metric tons. Revenue was up 50% year-over-year, following the signing of a long-term agreement with Waste Connections to deploy 24 AI-guided robotics systems and the opening of AMP Robotics' 40,000-square-foot test facility in Colorado. More recently, AMP Robotics extended its ability to identify recyclables to recover higher rates of materials like polypropylene resin, inking a deal with Keurig Dr. Pepper in support of its introduction of recyclable K-Cup pods. Valor Equity Partners and GV participated in AMP Robotics Series B alongside existing investors Sequoia Capital, Sidewalk Infrastructure Partners, Congruent Ventures, and Closed Loop Partners. The round brings the company's total raise to nearly $75 million. Well, that's about it for today. Hope you found it helpful. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. And do show us some love by clicking on the thumbs up button. Have a wonderful day everyone, and we will be back again soon.